to go, when they get the ball. It's such an advantage to have so many from one team.
For Belgium, manager Guy Tees is going with his fourth different lineup for World Cup '86. He obviously hasn't found a winning combination as yet and has elected again to juggle his lineup in an effort to come up with what he feels will be a positive side. This is Zavarov for the Soviets. Tries the cross, and it goes off number 22's Davort, and it gives the Soviets the first corner kick of the game. Number 21, Vasily Rats, going across to take it for the Soviet Union. He has one of the 9 goals for the Soviets scored in World Cup '86. The Soviets share the title of having scored the most goals with Denmark. He's looking for Lenikov, but it's brought back out to the top of the box, and there was a shot from Rats, and it went off a defender, and I believe that'll be another corner kick for the Soviet Union.
Well, I think it's offside because Lenikov was very slow in coming out there. The Belgium defense came out as one man, left Lenikov offside.
Offside the call. Just over 2 minutes gone. The Nou Camp Stadium in León, the site of the second round game between the Soviets and Belgium. Davort. Demol. Kuznetsov tried to get to that but couldn't. Belanov comes to his aid and clears it. Garrett still in play. And we go all the way back to number 5, Rencan.
As we've said so often in this World Cup, the first goal so very important. The Soviets have never been behind in this tournament. Be interesting to see what happens if Belgium scores first.
And of course, there is no tomorrow for either of these two teams. The winner will play Spain or Denmark on June the 22nd in Puebla in the quarterfinals. Bow plays that for number 7, Karimchuk. Yakovenko. Zavarov. Lenikov. Back to Zavarov. The Soviets move the ball with tremendous speed. This is Vasily Rats, and he was pulled down in the area by Scifo, but the referee says it'll be a throw-in.
Referee arguing there that Rats had lost possession before he took the fall. Give the throw-in.
Kuznetsov, the big red-headed defender. Belanov, very quick on the ball. This is the Soviet captain, Damianenko. To Bal. Bal tried to get the shot away from well outside, but it was blocked. Kuznetsov keeps it in the Belgian half. Alenikov tried to find Karimchuk, and that'll be a Soviet throw-in.
In the game that France played against the Soviets, they contained this very speedy Soviet attack by marking space. I have a feeling that if Belgium tries to mark man for man, they could well get caught out by the speed of these Soviets.
And there's an example of the ability of the Soviets to move the ball. Kuznetsov working the 1-2. Kuznetsov still has it, plays it back in, and Belanov with a chance, and he puts it wide of the mark. But a good opportunity there for the Soviets. Good build-up. Kuznetsov putting it through to Belanov.
Well, what's the challenge of Grun here coming in on Belanov? Just gets enough of a touch at him to make Belanov take his eye off the ball. The chance is wasted.
The Soviets, you'll remember, opened with a very impressive 6-1 victory over Hungary, followed that by playing to a 1-1 tie with France, and then shut out Canada by a score of 2-0. Belgium, on the other hand, started by losing 2-1 to Mexico. Then they came around and defeated Iraq 2-1, and then played to an impressive 2-all tie in their final game in the opening round with Paraguay. This is Kuznetsov. Rats is open. He gets the pass. Faced by Garrett. Rats. Damianenko. Kuznetsov. Belanov. Oh, beautiful and a great shot from outside as Jean-Marie Pfaff was tested.
Yakovenko struck that goal beautifully, but we said this could be a battle of goalkeepers. Pfaff coming up with a first great save.
And it's a corner kick to the Soviets. Just over 6 minutes gone. Opening half, no score. As Zaremchuk tries the flick on, and this will be another corner for the Soviet Union. The Soviets build up so very, very quickly. A lot of one touches. And that's so difficult to defend against. Rat plays it in the middle. There's the shot. It's surely a chance. And again, a golden opportunity for Yakovenko.
And for some reason or other, referee Eric Fredriksson gave handball there on Yaremchuk, but another opportunity, and the Soviets will have to start putting these in the net.
Great opportunities for the Soviet Union in the opening minutes here in León in the second round game. Still no score. Pfaff changed his mind at the last minute and decides to kick it downfield as opposed to throwing it out.
The interesting thing about this Soviet team is you cannot afford to mark just one man. They've scored 9 goals, and 8 players share these 9 goals. So they all get into the act.
Here's Zaremchuk leading the way with a pair of goals. 5 members of the Soviet team in the wall, coming from just outside the area with this free kick. There's the shot, and right into the arms of Dasayev. The 28-year-old who plays for Moscow Spartak. He was voted the best keeper in the World Cup in 1982 in Spain.
And Dasayev was the only one to vote. He's not at all modest about his own ability, but he is a brilliant goalkeeper.
Well, he certainly got my vote. Kuznetsov all the way back to Dasayev. It was here in León that Team Canada played a very, very memorable game against Michel Platini and France. France coming away with a 1-0 victory. But Team Canada indicated to the world that they could certainly play with the best. A very enjoyable afternoon indeed.
And people here still remember that performance by France when they saw our CBC shirts. They said, Canada, Canada. Canada made a great impression here in León.
Long throw in to Ceulemans, the captain of the Belgian side. Val keeps it in play. Back to Kuznetsov, to Vladimir Belanov. And again, all the way back to the keeper, Dasayev, and the fans here in León, very, very critical of that kind of play, especially knowing that the Soviets are so capable of coming forward of all time. Why go backwards? Belanov unable to control that. Ceulemans. And he goes all the way back to his keeper. And again, that draws the inevitable boos and whistles and hisses from the fans.
Belgium has started off in this game showing the Soviets a lot of respect. They've brought people back to try and contain this very speedy attack, hoping they can keep them off the scoreboard and then push forward themselves.
Well, outside of that opening flourish when the Soviets had 2 good scoring opportunities, they really haven't done much in the last 5 minutes. Vate called on the foul for Belgium. This is Damianenko. For Belanov. Plays it wide to Val. And the Belgians are allowing the Soviet fullback to come well forward. Zavarov now, number 9. Zavarov has it go off a leg and safely into the arms of Jean-Marie Pfaff. Still no score. 10.5 minutes gone here in León in this game between Belgium in the red and the Soviets in the white. Neatly cut out by Yakovenko, and he gets it again. Chips it forward. Belanov allows it to run off his head into the corner. Belanov has it blocked, but Zavarov comes up with it. Zavarov unable to turn there, but he can turn on a dime, can Zavarov.
Very tricky little player, number 9 for the Soviets, Alexander Zavarov. But if you counted the red shirts back there, there were 9 red shirts, only 1 front runner left up.
We mentioned the overall record of Belgium as being a little disappointing with 4 wins, 3 ties, and 10 defeats, and that includes 1986. The Soviets, on the other hand, have won 14, have 6 ties and 7 defeats, and are playing in their 6th World Cup here in Mexico. In 1982, they were eliminated in the second round, as were the Belgians. Damianenko trying to keep that ball in play, but the referee indicates that'll be a throw-in.
One thing for youngsters to watch in this game, watch how the Belgian and Soviet players, when they get the ball, get their head up, look to see where to put the ball. Then it's up to the colleagues to make the space for them to run off the ball, ready to receive the pass. But both these guys, very good on the ball. They use it very well.
Pass maneuvers it to the top of the 18-yard box. Long, high kick. And it goes off the Belgian player. It'll be a throw-in to the Soviets. Damianenko takes it to Kunetsov. Belanov through the middle for Zavarov, who loses it. Yaremchuk, Belanov. Yaremchuk back to Belanov, and Belanov unable to reach it, so that gives you a good indication of just how smoothly the Soviets move that ball ahead. Kuznetsov heading that forward. Ceulemans getting ahead on it. And in doing so, play is blown down and a free kick awarded by referee Eric Fredriksson of Sweden. The linesmen today are from Spain and the United States. Kuznetsov. Foul. Malenikov. Belanov. And that was too far forward for the intended Soviet player, and the Soviets will have to go back and regroup. 13.5 minutes gone, still no score. Soviets against Belgium.
And so far, Belgium have shown no signs that they want to come forward and attack the Soviet team. They've played most of this game in their own half.
Belanov. And neatly cut out there by number 5, Renken. So we've got no score. Coverage of the Labatt World Cup TV series continues in a moment. Welcome back to León. If you just joined us, I am Steve Armitage along with Graham Leggett, and this is the second round game between the Soviet Union and Belgium. We played just over 15.5 minutes of the opening half, and there's still no score. Wherever you're watching World Cup 86 on CBC television, we trust you're enjoying our coverage. Lots more to come until the final game on the 29th of June. That's a good ball down the right side for Bates. And there's the cross. There's somebody there at the far post, but it just hit the side netting. What a beautiful cross, and well taken.
And Catherine can hardly believe his eyes. He had a perfect header. He timed it beautifully, and he just put it in the side net with Takayev covering the near post. Beautiful cross. Great header, but just off target.
Frank Kaufmann, the Belgian player who plays for Anderlecht and has 1 goal for Belgium in the competition, obviously shaken up with that header. The magic sponge has come out, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Kaufmann on his feet and back in action.
And that was a perfect example of how you can beat this Soviet defense. It's very tough to go down the middle against Belanov and Kuznetsov. Look at the header again, just into the side net, and Kaufmann takes a bang on the head. But you have to go wide on the Soviet defense, get them out wide in the wing, and then get across, because It's tough to plow your way through the middle.
Catherine having words with referee Eric Fredrickson. Referee just checking to see if he's okay, and they allow their Catherine to stay in the game. I can't imagine any player wanting to pull himself out of a game of this importance, because it's all or nothing. The team that wins goes on to the quarterfinals. The team that loses packs their bags and returns home. Alenikov with the cross, and there were no white shirts running into that area, so a bit of a wasted ball on the part of Alenikov.
So far in this World Cup, there have been 86 goals scored, and 14 by these two teams, 9 for the Soviets and 5 for Belgium.
Both are capable of scoring. Both have good speed up front. And neither team will sit back and defend on a one-goal lead, although we saw just a bit of that in the Soviet game against France. This is Scifo for Belgium. And that's a free kick to the Belgians. Poorly taken by Ringtan. Kuznetsov plays it for the captain, Damianenko. He then leaves it for Rat. Alenikov. And that's a little deeper than we've been used to seeing Alenikov.
Well, the thing is that Kuznetsov and Belanov are coming forward every now and again because they're under no pressure from this Belgian team at all.
On that play, Soviet player Belanov was offside. Just over 19 minutes gone, no score. Soviets against Belgium. The winner will play Spain or Denmark on June the 22nd in Puebla in the quarterfinals. Certainly not an easy game for either team, but I shouldn't imagine that the Soviets or the Belgians are looking that far ahead. And you have to get by this one first. Kuznetsov. Long ball intended for Belanov. He was unable to do anything with it. Claesen unable to control that ball. It goes into touch. And a bit of a shoving match there between Zavarov and the Belgian player. And referee Fredrickson giving them a warning. Thrown to the Soviets. Damianenko to take it, the captain. And that's Beremchuk going down. And they go back to the keeper fast. Just over 20 minutes gone. Soviets nothing, Belgium nothing. South adjusting his boots. Davros plays it ahead to Claesen. Calvin hoping that somebody make a run into that area, but nobody did. And the Soviets come back again.
There's nobody up there to make a run into that space. They're all back on their own half of the field. As soon as the Soviet gets the ball, all the red shirts come into their own half and give up midfield, but just try to pick up men as they get near the danger area.
Alenikov gets the return pass. Try to work the 1-2, but it was broken up at the last minute by Verhort. Scifo. And again, the play is blown down by referee Fredrickson of Sweden.
I tend to wish that the Soviets would get a goal, because then Belgium would have to come out of the defensive shell and open this game up. Right now, they're all back in defense, giving the Soviets plenty of time to come forward, but shutting it off as they near the penalty box. A goal would liven this game up tremendously.
Keep one thing in mind, there can be no ties in the second round. The ties will be broken by overtime and, if necessary, the dreaded penalty shot. Nobody likes to see a game decided that way, but they have to declare a winner. One team goes on to the quarterfinals, the other team goes home. This is Belanov. Belanov tries to take the fullback on his outside. Good tackle there by Demol. Claesen. Throw to the Soviets. 22 and a half minutes gone. Here in León on a beautiful sunny afternoon. Temperature at game time was about 26, 27 degrees Celsius. Just a little bit of a breeze, just enough to keep it cool enough, although down on the field I'm sure it's 1 or 2 degrees warmer, so you're talking about 29, 30 degrees Celsius, which makes it a little warm for the players, but they're used to it by now. Davidoff had a bit of a space there, but it was blocked. The Belgians defending well against the Soviet side.
I really can't understand the Soviet strategy in this game. Alenikov, who's a terrific midfield player, can come forward and have a go at goal, is playing virtually as a sweeper at the back. Seems a bit of a waste to me.
And Can playing it for Scifo. Schifo's pass is intercepted by Alenikov. Kuznetsov missing that one. And Ceulemans has it for Belgium. Gets a return pass. And switches it wide to the left side. And again, there was nobody in the space. The Soviets qualified for Mexico by placing second in Group 6 in Europe behind Denmark, but they failed to win a qualifying game away from home, which is an interesting point worth considering. Belanov plays it back. Ratz chips it forward, but again the Belgian defenders do well. There's a shot from well out, but really no force behind it. Yakovenko waiting for the ball to come down instead of hitting it on the volley. So we're still waiting for our first goal. Welcome back to León and the second round match in World Cup '86 between the Soviets and Belgium. Still looking for our first goal in a half that's been fairly dominated up front by the Soviets. They've had a couple of scoring opportunities, but unable to finish so far. Derkort coming away with it for Belgium. Plays it into the middle, looking for Ceulemans. Ceulemans eventually getting it. Ceulemans. And Ceulemans almost waiting too long before having it stripped. There's the pass to the far post. That is headed away, but an infraction took place inside the penalty area. And a free kick has been awarded to the Soviets.
And Vladimir Belanov, who went on that long run, left the hole at the back. Unfortunately for Belgium, Jan Ceulemans just took too long to get that ball through. Gave the Soviets time to get back and cover up. But this is the danger when they got so much of the ball. They all tend to press forward, and they could leave holes at the back.
Vasily Ratz decides to bring it into the middle. He had the goal against France. Alenikov with a shot, and that's well wide of the mark. And really, I'm surprised at how poor the Soviet shooting is. Certainly in practice and in other games, whenever they've shot, they've had the ball on target.
Well, we've seen Alenikov and Yakovenko and Ratz score brilliant goals from long range, and they're going to have to do it today if Belgium keeps playing the way they're playing. They're lining 8 red chips across that penalty box. Very difficult to get in close.
Alenikov. Kuznetsov. And again, as soon as the Soviets get possession of the ball, the Belgians start to defend. There's the shot. He scores! What a beautiful goal!
Just look at this. Goes inside, makes some space, and hits it right into the far corner as Pat can only look. Beautiful strike of the ball. The speedy little winger rebounds it off the post into the net. Cut across the defense, puts it back the other way, and Pat can only watch it go into the net. And that's the goal. that we wanted and the Soviets wanted. Now Belgium has to come out of the shell.
And isn't that always the way? We were critical of the Soviet shooting, and then Belanov makes liars out of us when he comes down and bangs one a beauty, opening the scoring for the Soviet Union with just over 28 minutes gone in the first half in León. The Soviets won, Belgium no score. And again, the Soviets start to build up from the back four, and the Belgians drop back. This is Davidoff, Kuznetsov, Belanov, Davidoff to Vasily Rat, back to Davidoff, Belanov to Kuznetsov. Long ball down the left side. Baremchuk with the shot, and he was wide.
You have to watch your Remchuk, Davidoff, and Belanov. They're so tricky on the ball, so quick.
Back with the long kick, but again, the Belgians unable to do anything with the ball up front once they get it. And here come the Soviets again. Alienikov plays it back into the middle, just a bit too far for Davidoff. Now Ceulemans for Belgium. They trail 1-0. Good ball. Ceulemans keeps going forward, but they couldn't get the return pass into Ceulemans. Belanov, the sweeper, was there to block the shot.
But that's much better. That's the first time Belgium have gone at this Soviet defense. Go at them and see what they're made of.
Claesen was completely unmarked there, but again, the Belgians just a little sloppy in the play just outside the penalty area. Demol finally brought down by number 20, Alienikov. Free kick for Belgium. 30.5 minutes gone in the opening half. It's the Soviet Union 1, Belgium no score. Here's a chance, but the flag has gone up.
Nico Claesen went in there for the head-on, but he just moved a little too early. The linesman's flag was up right away.
And Dafayev takes the free kick, plays it out to the edge of the penalty area. And again, the Soviet back four will bring the ball forward. Alienikov. Most of the plays appear to be going through Alienikov. This is Ceulemans now for Belgium. They tried to get it back to Ceulemans, who had some space between the two Soviet defenders had he been able to get the ball back. And all of a sudden, the tempo of the game has picked up since the Soviets scored. We suspected it might, but it would force the Belgians to raise the level of their game, at least when they were coming forward. Yakovenko to Bow. Kuznetsov. Belanov. Back to Kuznetsov. Plays it in the middle for Yaremchuk. Yakovenko. Look at this. Beautiful work by Alienikov. Davidoff chips it forward, hoping that Rat can run onto it. He does. Keeps it in play. Rolls it by the line, but not out. Scifo to Gillette. Ceulemans. To Claesen. Back in the middle to Ceulemans. And just like Alienikov, who seems to control the play for the Soviet Union, Ceulemans is definitely the quarterback for the Belgians. There's the cross, far post. Claesen with the shot right into the arms of Chaplain.
And that's twice we've seen the long ball from the wing give the Soviet defense problems. They let it go right to the far post, and each time there's been a Belgian player there with a chance on goal.
And twice it's been their Claesen who has been in that position. He has obviously found a space in the Soviet defense. This is Ceulemans. Still in possession, does well, but finally loses it. And then it's chipped forward by the Soviets, but Belgium keeps the pressure on. Their Claesen with the cross into the middle and headed away. Damianenko. Ceulemans does well to play it forward. Nice little chip. There's a shot. And that was a good play by Belgium, but they just couldn't finish.
Good effort here. Watch him take it right on the volley, but it flies over the bar. But Belgium starting to come into the game now. Belgium, a good effort. Couldn't quite get over the ball to keep it on target.
Just over 34 minutes gone in the opening half. It's the Soviet Union 1, Belgium no score.
And still Belgium not challenging the Soviets as they bring it out of their own zone.
Don't forget to stay with us at halftime. Chris Cuthbert will have highlights of Mexico's game today. Tony Waiters will have some analysis, and we'll take a look at our votes for the Golden Shoe and the Golden Ball Award. Interesting halftime coming up. With the Scifo for Belgium. Long ball down the left side. And the flags are up for offside the moment that ball was struck. And the linesman's decision, not a popular one here in León. You can hear the fans reacting to that call. Yarenchuk, good move, still has it. Place it in the middle, looking for Belanov, the goal scorer. And Pfaff will roll it out up the middle to Ceulemans. 10 minutes to play now till halftime as Ceulemans goes down, and referee Fredrickson indicating a free kick.
I sometimes wonder why teams come out and play differently at the start of the game. Perfect example is Belgium. They laid back until the Soviets had scored. Now they look like a good side coming forward. Why didn't they start like that? Why give the Soviets the upper hand right from the beginning?
And that's exactly what they did. Belanov scoring the only goal of the game to give the Soviets a 1-0 lead. 6 red shirts have gone forward for Belgium. Free kick is taken, swung to the left side, and then headed back into the middle. Ceulemans was there, and then a shot that was high and wide. Still hasn't gone out, though. Scifo managed to go down to the corner and collect it for Belgium, and now Scifo and Ratz are struggling. Shall we have a waltz in the shade? Now the Soviets really slowing things down, almost at a dead walk. Zavarov takes his time.
And no challenge at all. Soviets can do what they want with it. The red shirt still going back, lining up as 5 yards outside the penalty box.
The Belgians have waited until they get the ball into their half before they make a challenge. Now they'll come forward, but they'll allow them to get that far. Kuznetsov. And the wave has started once again in León. We can't see it, but you can certainly hear it. Yakovenko, Alenikov. Now they're building up with just a little bit more pace. Val, Belanov. And they go all the way back to Yakovenko. Kuznetsov. Puts it forward, looking for Belanov, who has made a bit of a run. Leaves it for Vasily Ratz. Ratz goes down in the corner, and he tripped up by Demol, and that'll be a Soviet free kick coming from well inside the Belgian half, but also well outside the penalty area. Soviets lead by a score of 1-0. 38 minutes gone, first half. It finds the head of Remchuk, but he was unable to direct it with any force in the direction of the net.
Friends, that the two players jumping for that ball were Igor Belanov and Yaremchuk.
CBC's coverage of World Cup 86 continues in just a moment. About 5.5 minutes to play in the opening half in León in the game between the Soviet Union and Belgium. The Soviets have a 1-goal lead on a goal by Belanov, and it was a beauty coming midway through the opening half. But since that time, it's been fairly even. Belgium have had a couple of chances. They're countering for Belgium. Plays a good ball for Claesen, and Claesen unable to change. There's a shot from Ceulemans, and Ceulemans almost finding the mark on the right side.
Kuznetsov made a mistake there. He sold himself. The ball was pushed back, and young Ceulemans could not get it on target. So far, Zasayev has not really been tested.
Now exactly 5 minutes to play until halftime. Zavarov. Olenikov. Kuznetsov. As the Soviets slow things down again. Belanov, who was a tireless runner up front for the Soviets, and we saw that in the game against Hungary. He made run after run after run up front and did a tremendous amount of damage to the Hungarians.
He doesn't even look like a soccer player. Little, frail, but can he ever run?
And now here's a run on the part of the Belgians. There's the cross, and headed away by Kuznetsov. The Belgians keep the pressure on. Scifo, back to Garrett. Garrett with a shot! Oh, Zasayev got an arm on it. I'm not sure if that was on target, but Zasayev made a diving save.
Well, Garrett used to play center forward. He's accustomed to this. He hits it well, but it just slices past the near post. Zasayev reaching for it. Garrett loves to come up. As I said, he used to play center forward. He's now playing fullback, but when he gets forward, he knows what to do with the ball.
The Belgians may be trailing by a score of 1-0, but they're certainly not out of this game by any means. Ceulemans, the captain, leading another rush for Belgium. And Kuznetsov leading that one perfectly and going back to Zasayev. Zavarov coming forward for the Soviets. A good ball to Belanov, and pass came well off his line to clear that one. Remchuk plays it in the middle for Belanov. Belanov back, and there's a shot that's high and wide.
And full marks to Jean-Marie Pape. He read the ball well, came right outside his penalty box and cleared it. Goalkeeper's the last defender. He has to be able to read the game so well, and he did there.
And Pape started the game without the cap. Obviously, the sun in León is bothering Pape, so he put on the cap to shade his eyes. Kaufman beaten to that ball by foul. Chip forward again, looking for Belanov. He's the target man in the middle on those long balls. Ceulemans got himself out of trouble neatly and then gave it away to Vasily Rat. Damianenko making a run, getting the pass from Rat. Damianenko, good tackle there by the Belgian defender. Scifo into Ceulemans in the middle. Kaufman is making a run on the left side. Scifo coming up in support and taking the pass from Ceulemans. Scifo with the shot! And Zasayev going up. I don't think he got a hand on it.
Zasayev not troubled at all by this shot. It struck well, but he knows it's over the crossbar. Makes a token effort just to see that it is.
Well, the Belgians have certainly had some good shots on goal in this first half, but they trail the Soviets by 1 goal. But it's been a very entertaining half, and made even more entertaining once the Soviets scored that goal. it made the Belgians realize that they would have to start coming forward if they were going to stay in this game. And once they did that, they really turned it around. Now again, the Soviets slowing things down in the back four as we're into the final minute of the opening half. Safayev, long kick, falls nicely to the feet of Belanov. Belanov tries to get it to Yaremchuk, and it rolls across the line, and it'll be a goal kick for the Belgians. According to my watch, 44.5 minutes gone.
You see Jean-Marie Pfaff with the hat on there. Not only is the sun very bright, but it reflects off the white concrete around this stadium. It's very troublesome for goalkeepers.
They're Calvin. Ceulemans swings it right to Garrett. Garrett strikes it for Ceulemans. It's a good ball. But the referee's whistle goes to indicate the end of the first half. The corner will not be taken. And the Soviets will go into the dressing room with a 1-0 lead over Belgium.
And I think that the Soviets really deserve the lead. They could have had one or two more, and they may regret these misses as the game goes on.
Soviets 1, Belgium 0. CBC's coverage of World Cup '86 continues in just a moment. Welcome back to León. Referee Eric Fredriksson of Sweden is checking his watch. He's just done a count of the players to make sure that each side has 11 on the field. And we're about to get the second half underway here in the shoe capital of Mexico. Located 383 miles north of Mexico City, the second half is nicely underway. The Soviets leading by a score of 1-0 on a goal by Belanov, as Tony pointed out in those highlights, and we'll keep a close eye on that long pass from deep in the Soviet back that worked so well against Hungary, and the Soviets exploited a couple of occasions here against Belgium.
And the Soviets have only given up one goal in this World Cup, and they've never been behind. So Belgium has a big task to come now and try and get that equalizer.
Throw-in taken by Vervoort all the way back to the keeper, Jean-Marie Pfaff, who has taken off the cap. So obviously the end that Belgium are now defending will not bother the eyes of Jean-Marie Pfaff. Rincon again back to Pfaff. Pfaff with a long kick. And this will be taken by Dafayev. I suppose the goalkeepers could do this all afternoon, one end to the other. Elenikov. Back into the middle to Yakovenko, to Zavarov. Yakovenko again. Yakovenko looking for Belanov, unable to make contact with the speedy Soviet forward. Pfaff, who plays for Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga in West Germany. Now here come the Soviets again. Belanov. Belanov with a shot. It's a hard one, but this time it's wide.
Well, the speedy Belanov there, the ball just kept running away from him. He couldn't get his left foot planted well enough to get the ball on target, but he's ever a threat.
Belanov, 2 goals for the Soviet Union now, the same as Yaremchuk. Pfaff displays it to the top of the box. Rincan. Vervoort back in the middle for Demol. Long ball down the right side. This will be easily headed forward by Damianenko. Zvate cross into the middle. Just flicked on to Verkavern. Garrett plays it forward for Ceulemans. Ceulemans brought down the top of the box. As the Belgians keep the pressure on, they still have possession. Scifo still has it, does well to get by 2 Soviet defenders, and then it has to go off the leg of Bratt, and that will be a corner kick, the first corner kick of the second half, and it goes to Belgium.
And already we've seen Belgium pick the pace up. They have to push forward now to get that equalizer. and hopefully for them the winner. There has to be a decision in this game.
This is Bates back to Vercauteren. Vercauteren with the cross into the middle. Easy one for Renat Dafayev. Now a little quicker build-up from the back by the Soviets. Yaremchuk brings it into the middle. Plays it to Zavodov. Zavodov back into the middle for Belanov, and that was close to being offside. Kuznetsov. Yakovenko back to Kuznetsov to Yakovenko. Yakovenko at the top of the 18-yard box, cuts it back into the middle. Couldn't quite get the cross in. It was blocked neatly by the Belgian defender. And the ball rolls into touch. It'll be a throw into Belgium. The Soviets won, Belgium no score. Just over 4 minutes gone in the second half in León. On a beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon, late Sunday afternoon here in Mexico. Temperature in the high 20s Celsius. Throw into the Soviets to Belanov. Demianenko. And it was intended for Yaremchuk, but it was played behind him. This is Vercauteren for the Belgians. Ceulemans. Ceulemans with a good ball down the right side. Grun unable to control that ball for Belgium. But what a beautiful opportunity for the Belgian side here in the opening moments of the second half. Therefore, with a long cross. And it goes off the Soviet defender into touch, and it'll be a throw into Belgium.
And Jan Ceulemans now starting to stamp his class on this game. That was a beautiful through ball to Grun. Bad control took away a scoring chance for Belgium.
Vervoort with the throw-in. Back to Vercauteren. 10 ball against Yaremchuk. So it'll be a free kick to the Belgians. Coming from deep in the Soviet half. About halfway down the penalty area. Yaremchuk and Yakovenko setting the wall. Crossbar post. And Dafayev does well to come off the line and pick that one out of the air.
Good goalkeeping. We haven't seen too much of Dafayev under pressure, but there he made his mind up. Great hands.
We know that Dafayev is good. He certainly has all the technical abilities. Physically, he's got everything that a goalkeeper wants. He's tall, over 6 feet. Slim, about 175, 180 pounds, and has the reflexes of a cat, and is very, very courageous. We've seen him challenge for balls in the past. He certainly hasn't been a busy goalkeeper in World Cup '86. Certainly not against the Hungarians. They lost 6-1. Belanov. Foul. And Belanov and Foul just content to keep possession. And now they go all the way back to Dafayev.
And we saw the Belgian side do something there they did not do in the first half. They forechecked them, to use a hockey phrase. They came up, put them under pressure. The ball had to be played back to Dafayev. But I feel Belgium has to do that. They cannot allow the Soviets to come out of the penalty box with no problem.
Belanov with a bit of a chance there for the Soviets, but I'm afraid the referee had blown the play down. A push by Belanov in order to get free and get around the defender. Scifo. And that'll be a free kick to the Soviet Union. Almost 7.5 minutes gone. Second half in León. The Soviets leading Belgium by a score of 1-0. If you just joined us, I'm Steve Armitage along with Graham Leggett. We've got Chris Cuthbert and Tony Waiters back in our Mexico City control area. Enjoyed that analysis from Tony Waiters at halftime. Interesting that Tony has the time to sit down with the telestrator and able to show us just exactly how the Soviets are able to penetrate the defense of Belgium.
And Tony, like any other coach, would wish he had that ability to come the play back and stop it where he wants, and then start all over again.
This is Zavodov for the Soviets. Tries to get Belanov, but can't. Now they switch it out wide to the left side. The cross into the middle. Oh, he hit the post. There's a shot for Bellanov, and it's blocked at the line by Fairford. Oh, my. A couple of great opportunities for the Soviets, and they keep the pressure on. And now, finally, they may have relieved a little bit of the pressure. Great opportunity there for Belanov.
A textbook move almost resulted in the second Soviet goal. Belanov a little complacent as he tried to head it in easily, he thought, only to see it rebound off the post. The rebound shot kicked off the line. Great defensive play by the fullback.
Cross into the middle again, looking for the head of Belanov, and they go back to the keeper, Jean-Marie Faust. Again, the long kick, and Dasayev takes it on the first bounce. Kuznetsov. Belanov. Foul. Into the middle for Zavodov. Zavodov does well. And just one Belgian defender too many for Zavodov. Grun getting a foot in there to take it away. Huge kick by Faf, and right to Dasayev again.
Belgian side must be wondering if there's a net in a badminton game. The ball's going about 50 yards over the head in midfield from goalkeeper clearances.
Yaremchuk, Belanov making a run. Yaremchuk just back heels it for Aleniakov to back. Aleniakov making a run. Val elects to go back inside to Besanov, and he plays it for Kuznetsov. And it goes into touch, and both sides appealing for the throw-in, but it's a throw into the Belgians. The Calvin, the Renklin, Devort. The Calvin, the cross into the middle. It's a chance. They score! Belgium have equalized.
Scifo waiting patiently at the far post. What a mistake by the Soviet defense. The ball should have been cleared. Good control by Scifo and into the net past Dayaga. Brilliant control. Heads up. Poke it in. Lovely finish. Beautiful control, but a dreadful mistake by the Soviets. Excellent finishing by Scifo.
And that is the first goal that the Soviets have given up since that game against France. They managed to shut Canada out, allowed only one goal against France, and now they've given up their first goal to the Belgians, who tie the game at 1. Yaremchuk is brought down from behind, and that'll be a free kick to the Soviets. Don't forget, as Graham has pointed out, the Soviets have never been behind in a match. This is not to say they're behind now, but it'll be interesting to see if they can raise their game and get another goal and go in front.
It's so very difficult in a game to start off aggressively, then cruise for a while, then think you can change gears and get up to the pace you had before. Very difficult.
Well, the Belgians have certainly shown us that they can raise the level of their game up front. Now we'll see if the Soviets can do it again. And remember, the Soviets had a very good scoring opportunity, a good chance for Belanov to get his second goal of the game just before the Belgians equalized. Cadet takes a quick throw. The Belgians trying to capitalize on the momentum that they have going for them now. Grun dispossessed by Alenikov. Now Zavodov coming forward for the Soviets. Picked out by Demol. Cadet to Verkaufmann. Vervoort, the fullback. Ceulemans calling for it, gets it, gives it to Verkaufmann. Verkaufmann with a cross easily cut out by Kuznetsov. Plays it for Aleniakov. Foul, making ground and brought down from behind by Ceulemans. And referee Eric Fredriksson of Sweden blows that down.
Ceulemans there said that he'd taken dive, but it was obviously a free kick, and the Soviets take it quickly and swing it out to the left.
Damianenko, the Soviet captain, plays it in the middle for Aleniakov. Aleniakov losing it. And again, the referee calling the foul against the Belgians. Taken very quickly. Zavarov losing it. And again, the referee stopping play. And another free kick to the Soviet Union as they march the ball down the field via the free kick route. 13.5 minutes gone, second half. We're tied at 1. Belgium 1, the Soviet Union 1. As the Belgians send 6 men into the wall. The rest is off to the right by the referee. Rapp takes the free kick right into the arms of Jean-Marie Fass.
And the wall did its job there. It prevented Rapp from hitting it smartly. He tried to curve it, but an easy save for Jean-Marie Fass.
Remember, the game will not end in a tie. We will have to have a winner. And the winner of this game will go on to a June 22nd meeting in Puebla between the winner of the Spain and Denmark game. We will have overtime, and if they still haven't got a winner then, they will go to the penalty shootout. Ceulemans tries to give and go, but it's intercepted by the Soviets. A little bit of urgency and anxiety creeping into the game now. And Rapp is brought down by another 21, Demol, and that'll be a free kick to the Soviets.
But so far in this game, the fouls have been merely a case of mistiming. The tackles have been just a little late. They're not as vicious as in some games we've seen.
Certainly not as vicious in the Uruguay-Scotland game, which was a travesty. Rapp takes the free kick and is headed out of harm's way and then flicked on. Claesen will run onto it for Belgium. Has it go off the Soviet player, and it will be a throw into the Belgians. Cadet. Grun. He loses it. Yaremchuk. And he took too long as the Belgians came back, and good marking. Kuznetsov plays it forward for Bal. Bal plays it in the corner for Belanov. Belanov tried to get the cross in him, and it was blocked by Demol. Ceulemans, the Belgian captain, who has played an outstanding game so far. Ceulemans. Good ball for Grun. And the ball rolls across the line. It will be a goal kick to the Soviet Union. We're tied at 1. Coverage of the Labatt World Cup TV series. Welcome back to León. Free kick to the Soviets from Damianenko taking that. That is high and wide of the mark.
A little bit ambitious, Damianenko. It was more like a goal kick than a shot on goal. No trouble at all for Pratt.
Soviets 1, Belgium 1. Almost 18 minutes gone in the second half. There were some new odds issued in Mexico City today, and depending on which paper you were reading, Brazil are now the favorites at 9-2 or 4-1. Argentina also rated at 9-2. The Soviets are 9-1 or 12-1, again depending on what newspaper you were reading. And the Belgians are rated as 50-1 to win the World Cup. So the odds makers still like the South Americans, Brazil and Argentina, to wind up with the cup come June 29th. And I certainly wouldn't discount the Soviets, although right now they've got their hands full against the Belgians. It's tied at 1. The Soviets, an extremely fit side. Certainly against the Hungarians, they showed us tremendous speed in the second half when we expected all teams in the World Cup to really slow things down. Kuznetsov just chips it forward to Zavarov. Zavarov He's fouled when he tried to set up Yakovenko, and Ringkin gets the yellow card, which is the caution from the referee, and he wants to shake hands with Davidoff. That's nice to see.
And that was the skill of Davidoff that caused that foul. Backsliding by Rankin, but Davidoff, in spite of the tackle, just poked it away. Rankin came in late.
Free kick, just chipped forward, looking for Belanov, and Belanov unable to control it, and they go back to the keeper, Jean-Marie Pfaff. Kuznetsov cut that one out and just knocks it forward into touch. Throw into the Belgians.
20 minutes gone in the second half. The momentum seems to have swung to Belgium. Amazing what a goal can do.
We've seen it time and time again. A goal can lift the team. There's the ball into the middle from Claesen, but the Soviets come away with it. Yakovenko leading the Soviets forward. Belanov on the left side, and Belanov taken out of the play by Scifo, an obvious obstruction against Belanov. Free kick taken quickly. Davidoff tries to get around Garrett, but can't.
Well, maybe the Soviets took that free kick too quickly because there were plenty red shirts back there to defend. It would have been better to set it up.
Vervoort, 21-year-old. This Belgian side is handled by Guy Thies, a 63-year-old gentleman who took over the national team in 1976, but he had to rebuild the team following a major bribery scandal that shook Belgian soccer back in 1984, but they seem to have recovered quite nicely. Davidoff.
The funny thing is that Guy Thies was never a manager or a coach of a club side. He's a businessman, and you said he had to do a rebuilding job. Obviously, they thought he could do it better than a manager or a coach, and he seems to have done it very well.
The Soviets coming forward now. We're tied at 1. Just over 21 and a half minutes gone in the second half in León. Alenikov. They come forward for the Soviets. Plays it to Yakovenko. There's the chip forward looking for Alenikov, and Alenikov went in against Jean-Marie Pfaff, and Pfaff indicates that he got hit on the thigh. Again, Alenikov coming in to shake the keeper's hand.
Well, Alenikov saw the ball in the air just as Pfaff did. They both went for it, and Alenikov kicked Pfaff, but it wasn't a vicious foul. If the ball's free as a forward, you've got to go for it.
Well, the Bayern Munich goalkeeper obviously needing some treatment. Otherwise, the referee wouldn't have allowed him up the field.
Yeah, the ball was free. They were both going for it. Pfaff got to it first. Alenikov, a little late, just caught him on the side.
And it seems to be an abrasion just above the right kneecap for Jean-Marie Pfaff. Ringkin with the free kick. They're covering. The Cadets on the right side plays it back in the middle to Ceulemans. Scifo is making a run, but Ceulemans couldn't find him, and now it's a foot race between the Soviet captain Demianenko. He wins that. Davidoff looking for Belanov. Belanov gets it, but he couldn't control it. An excellent run, and as Tony Waiters pointed out at halftime, that's the kind of thing that the Soviets like to do, and we can expect to see it happen in the second half, and it did.
Good covering by Rankin and Vervoort. They out-muscled Belanov, and really it doesn't take much to out-muscle the little guy.
Vervoort for Belgium. Ceulemans. Plenty of space for the fullback, Vervoort. Looking for Verkauteren, cut out neatly by the Soviet defenders, and the Soviets come back. Almost 24 minutes gone. Second half. Belgium won, the Soviets won. Yarenchuk finally losing it. But right to Belanov, back to Yaremchuk, to Yakovenko. In the middle, and knocked across the line, and that'll be a goal kick for the Belgians. Staff plays it ahead to Giret. Ceulemans losing it to Zavarov. Zavarov for the Soviet Union. To Belanov. Belanov, he scores! What a beautiful goal! Great setup. Belanov with the finish.
Full marks to the referee. He allowed the advantage, and Belanov slotted it in calmly. Full marks to the referee. It was a foul. He allowed the advantage. Look at this finishing right in the corner. Beautiful goal. And once again, Zavarov and Belanov, that deadly duel, click again.
Belanov with his second goal of the game puts the Soviets in front 2-1. CBC's coverage of World Cup '86 continues in just a moment. 26.5 minutes gone in the second half, and another forward thrust for the Soviet Union. A shot by Vasily Rat that was wide of the target, but boy, the Soviets are so dangerous when they're in a situation where they have 4-on-2, 4-on-3. The Soviets now taking this opportunity to make a substitution. Zavarov is coming off. Rodionov is coming into the game. 23 years of age, plays for Moscow Spartak, and has one of the goals for the Soviets so far in World Cup '86. Sergei Rodionov into the game. Zavarov is out, and what a marvelous game Zavarov has played once again for the Soviet Union. Graham and I have had a chance to see all the games that the Soviets have played, and Zavarov has been outstanding in each and every one of them.
And the officials in this World Cup have taken some abuse for various decisions, but that was a marvelous decision by referee Eric Fredriksson. Zavarov was fouled. He kept the ball. The referee allowed advantage, and they scored from it. Great decision.
We saw the Belgians raise their game when they had to come back and equalize. Can they do it again? Soviets 2, Belgium 1. Over 28 minutes gone in the second half. Brun coming forward for Belgium, has it stripped by Rodionov. Free kick taken quickly by Ceulemans. And the referee says, no, we'll do that again, gentlemen. We'll bring it back.
Taken too quickly by Ceulemans. The referee wants to take him from the right spot. At an excellent game, referee Eric Fredriksson.
Ceulemans. Plays it for Vervoort. Vervoort with a shot from well out. And those kind of shots, Chafayev would love to see all afternoon.
Plenty of power in that shot, but the wrong direction, the wrong height.
2-1, Soviets leading Belgium, and if this result remains till full time, it will see the Soviets going on to the quarterfinals against either Spain or Denmark on June 22nd in Puebla. Foul. Back to Chafayev. Lenikov. And again, the Soviets content with the slow build-up in the back. This is Rodionov, the substitute. Yakovenko. Yakovenko just a second or two too slow with the ball, and it's just possessed by the covering Vervoort for Belgium. Switches it to the right side to the other fullback, Giret. In the middle for Renkam. Good ball. But the referee says handball charged against Claesen, and Claesen is not happy with the call from referee Fredrickson. 15 minutes remaining to play. Soviets leading 2-1 on a pair of goals from Belanov.
And I think it's about this time that Belgium will have to push forward and take a few chances at the back. We have to get this equalized.
Should point out that Belanov now has 3 goals in World Cup '86 and is only 1 goal behind the co-leaders, LQR and Altobelli, in the race for the Golden Shoe, which goes to the leading goal scorer in World Cup competition. Won in 1982 by Paolo Rossi with 6 goals. And the way the Soviets started out with a 6-1 win over Hungary, I thought one Soviet player would surely wind up with 10. Here's Ceulemans with a shot, and he's equalized. Belgium has tied it. Jan Ceulemans.
And the Soviet defense standing watching the ball. He looks offside to me, but he takes it and finishes it beautifully. Way offside. The flag stays down, but give credit to Ceulemans. He puts it in anyway. There, he has to be 3 yards offside, but you don't stop and argue. You put it in the net and argue later. Jan Ceulemans ties it once again for Belgium.
And the reason for my hesitation was the same reason that the Soviet defenders had given up. They thought it was offside.
He looked 3 yards offside, but that was a perfect illustration of playing to the whistle. You don't hesitate. If you're a forward, you stick it in the back of the net, and if it's not given, then you've got the goal.
The Soviets went ahead 1-0 on a goal by Belanov. The Belgians came back to tie it up. Belanov made it 2-1, and now Jan Ceulemans, the Belgian captain, has tied it at 2. We have got a great game going here in León. Trust you're enjoying it wherever you're watching, from coast to coast across the network of the CBC. This is what World Cup is all about. Rodionov for the Soviets, losing it to Scifo. Scifo coming away for Belgium, playing it back to Goretz, and they go all the way back to their keeper Pfaff, but before it gets to Pfaff, it's taken by Renkan, and then he finally does go back to Pfaff.
And funny enough, several of the Soviet players look a little dispirited. I think they thought when they scored that second goal, Belgium would lie down and play dead. So we've seen teams come back so often in this World Cup, and full marks to Belgium for doing the same.
And again, we remind you, there will be no ties in the second round. There has to be a clear-cut winner in every game. So should this game remain deadlocked at 2, we will have overtime. And then if we're still tied, they will go to penalty shots to decide the winner. Rodionov in the middle to receive this pass, and it's headed away by Goretz. And now the Belgians come back. They're Claesen. This is Bates for Belgium. Groen is on his outside. Bates bringing it back into the middle. Plays it over to the left side, and their cover was there, but it was just too far.
And Bates just took too long in the ball, and nearly ball to the overlapping player was on then. By the time he decided what to do with it, the white shirts were back and forth.
And now it would appear that the Soviets are going to make their second and final substitution of the game. Yevtushenko is coming on, number 17. Yakovenko is out of the game. Vladim Yevtushenko. A play-by-play man's nightmare. Try and say that quickly 4 or 5 times. Ceulemans almost intercepting that, finally cleared by Kuznetsov. Yevtushenko gets his first touch of the game. Plays it back to the Soviet captain, Anatoly Damienko. Yevtushenko, Kuznetsov. They'll try the right side now through Bow. Beleniakov played forward for Rodionov, but he was unable to get to it. Their Calvin clears. Kuznetsov takes possession for the Soviets inside the Belgian half. Yevtushenko to Rats on the left side. all sorts of white shirts in the penalty area. Damianenko to Rat, back into Yaremchuk, and he gets the free kick. Just under 10 minutes remaining to play in the second half. The Soviets 2, Belgium 2. Yaremchuk unable to complete the pass. Val comes back to keep it in play for the Soviet Union. Lenyikov watched by Vervoort. Lenyikov with the attempted cross was off the leg of Vervoort, and Vervoort does well to clear, and then it's given it back to Lenyikov in the middle to Rodionov. Rodionov does well to get by his man, plays it back into the middle to Belanov. There's the shot. Oh, it goes off the crossbar, and then over the line, resulting in, I think, a goal kick, or will it be a corner?
The Soviets push it around brilliantly, tee it up for Yaremchuk, and it bounces right off the crossbar with Kraft beaten. Beautiful shot, beautiful control by the Soviets.
A goal kick is given, so Pfaff did not touch that drive, but very good play on the part of Rodionov. Good build-up. And that must have been a scary moment for Pfaff and the Belgian players, and of course the many Belgian fans in the stadium in León. And according to my watch, we're about 8.5 minutes away from seeing extra time for the first time in World Cup '86. Damianenko for Kuznetsov. On the left side for Yaremchuk.
Yaremchuk, who minutes ago just hit the crossbar. I'm sure that crossbar is still trembling and shaking after the power of that shot.
A tremendous drive on the part of Yaremchuk, who comes forward again for the Soviets. Played it into the middle for Belanov. Belanov, with 2 goals, would love to get the hat trick, I'm sure. Kuznetsov plays it on the left side for Rat, and the linesman's flag goes up indicating offside.
Good defense by Belgium. They forced the Soviets to keep pushing it along the edge of the box. Didn't give them a chance for a shot.
We're tied at 2. Coverage of the Levant World Cup TV series continues in a moment. Welcome back to a very exciting game in León between the Soviets and the Belgians. We're tied at 2 with less than 10 minutes to play in the second half. Corner kick to the Soviets taken by Rat and headed away by the Belgian defender, and then cleared by Vervoort. Yevtushenko, as the Soviets keep the pressure on, and then losing it to Verkouteren. And he found Veit in the middle. Veit is playing it to a white shirt. A giveaway on the part of the Belgians as the Soviets come back. Besanov, long ball. Kuznetsov again for the Soviets. Played wide on the right for the fullback, Val. Val crosses and it's cleared, but right to Kuznetsov. Yaremchuk back to Val. And the play is blown down by referee Fredrickson. Ceulemans now coming away for Belgium. Ceulemans into the middle for Veit. Veit with the shot from well out and easily taken by Dafayev. Well struck by Veit.
Good effort by Veit. Confidently struck, but think about confidence. Dafayev made it look so easy.
According to my watch, which is unofficial, only referee Fredrickson has the official time. Now less than 5 minutes to play in the second half. We're tied at 2. The cross to Rat, and Rat just getting over top of that ball and knocking it high.
And Rat had more time than he realized there. He waited for it. He could have taken it down and then had a crack. Decided to hit it on the volley, and really a very poor effort.
Jean-Marie Pfaff plays it forward for Renkan. Kuznetsov being watched by Claesen. Throw to the Soviets all the way back to their keeper, Dasayev.
And I'm sure the last thing these players want is overtime. It's tough enough to play 90 minutes at this heat and altitude. The thought of extra time must be killing them.
Altitude here in León, 1,804 meters. Temperature today at game time, about 26, 27 degrees Celsius, and we estimate it must be 2 or 3 degrees warmer down at field level. So a warm afternoon, but not unbearably so. We've had some very, very warm days in León, but the heat is not oppressive. But it will certainly take its toll if they have to play extra time, and extra time is looming large at this particular point in time. We're tied at 2. Soviets 2, Belgium 2. Rat trying to get round the Belgian defenders. And finally, the Belgians come away with it. They give it away to Belanov. Now Belanov comes streaking back for the Soviets. Damianenko unable to control it, but it will be a throw into the Soviets on the far side. 3 minutes remaining to play in the game. In regulation time, that is. Belanov chips it forward. And he finds their Claesen and not the white shirt of Belanov, whom the pass was intended for. Back, throws it out to their Claesen. With some space on the left side. Vervoort is supporting, plays it into the middle. Now the Belgians come back. Claesen with the chip forward, far post, it's open, and Dasayev was there. I'm not sure if it hit the bar or it hit the side of the net.
And Scifo applauds Dasayev. Dasayev doing what he had to do, guard the near post. A perfect header, and there he is, right at the near post, keeping it out. Great chance for Belgium. Terrific save by Dasayev.
Superb anticipation on the part of Dasayev. Corner kick taken, fight with the shot, and that's wide of the mark. What an unbelievable finish to this game. Soviets opened the scoring. Belgians came back to tie it up. Soviets went ahead 2-1 on a second goal by Belanov. And then the Belgians equalized with a goal from their captain, Jan Ceulemans. And we're still tied, and now we're in the final seconds of regulation time. Val plays it to Aleniakov. Belanov with the long ball down the left side, trying to find Rat. Rat's able to get to it, being watched by Garet. Rat plays it back to Demianenkov. Rodionov is there. Rodionov plays it in the middle for Aleniakov. Aleniakov for Yevtushenko. Yevtushenko with the shot partially blocked and then cleared by Vervoort. Yevtushenko is offside. The linesman's flag going up as soon as that pass was struck. And offside is the call.
Very, very, very close. I'm sure the Belgian caught were in the mouth there as Yevtushenko went through on pass, but the linesman's flag was up.
Entertainment with a capital E has been the name of the game here in León. The Soviets 2, Belgium 2. Second round action from Mondial 86. Schutzmaff to foul to Baremchuk. And Vervoort got a foot in there, and it's a free kick to the Soviets. We're now in the final seconds. The referee's checking his watch. We must be into extra time. We are. A long ball for Belanov, and Belanov is barred from behind, and a free kick is going to be awarded right on the edge of the penalty area.
Don't go away, folks. This game isn't over yet.
We're into extra time, injury time, and a free kick to the Soviet Union coming from the edge of the penalty area. The drama continues to mount here in León.
And if there's anything like a good foul, that was it, because Belanov was all set to chest it down and thump it until he was fouled. And it seemed to me to be right on the edge of the box.
The Belgians setting up the wall. Referee Fredrickson indicating the wall has to be set up further back. Now, who's going to hit this for the Soviet Union? Rodionov. and the Belgians forced them to play outside, but they still had possession. The attempted cross goes off the head of Demol, and there goes the final whistle. It's tied at 2. We are going to extra time to decide the outcome of this match, and if it's still not decided then, we will determine the outcome on penalty shot. But for the first time in World Cup '86, we are going to extra time to determine the outcome.
Great comeback by Belgium. They refused to take defeat, and now it's anybody's game.
There will be 2 15-minute halves coming up, and if the extra time is anything like the regulation time here in León, it should be outstanding.
And the interesting thing is that the Soviets have used both their substitutes. Belgium has yet to use theirs, so they have 2 sets of fresh legs to bring on when they need them.
The Soviets opened the scoring with a goal from Belanov. Belgium came back to tie it up. Then Belanov got his second goal of the game, and then Ceulemans, the captain for Belgium, got the equalizer, and tremendous action in the dying seconds here in León, but we are going to extra time.
And how the Soviets must be regretting the chances they missed. Belanov hit one off the post. Davrov hit one off the crossbar. They could all have salted the game away. Now they're level. It's a whole new game.
I'm looking forward to it. Our first extra time in Mondial '86 coming up shortly. But right now, we're going back to our control center in Mexico City and Chris. And of course, if it's not decided after the 2 15-minute extra time periods, they will go to the Gledis penalty shot contest to determine the winner. So the first extra time of World Cup '86 is underway. Garrett plays it in the middle for the Belgian defender, who goes back to Jean-Marie Fast, who gets his first touch of the extra time.
And we will see both teams now make sure they don't make mistakes at the back. They will take the chance in the lottery of a penalty kick, but they do not want to see the goal and give away a mistake, give away a goal. So this could be like first round of the World Cup again, where both teams are playing it tight, trying not to make mistakes.
But both teams looking for that big break. Belanov. Rodinov giving it away as Belgium come back. Demol, number 21 for the Belgians. Plays it down the right side, looking for Scifo, but it was intercepted by Belanov, and Belanov goes back to Dafayev, who was forced to make what could quite arguably be the save of the game in the dying seconds for the Soviet Union to force extra time. This is Rapp. There's the cross, and is knocked across the line by Renken, and will have a corner kick. The first corner kick of extra time, and it goes to the Soviets. Damianenko is coming down to take it for the Soviet Union. Kuznetsov has come up, rolled up to the top of the penalty box. Flicked on, Yarenchuk just flicked it onto the far post, but there was nobody there to knock it in for the Soviets. It'll be a throw-in now from the far side. Yevtushenko came on as a substitute late in the second half. Nice turn by Yarenchuk, and he tried to find the head of Belanov, but the cross was too low. Another throw-in to the Soviets. According to my watch, just over 2 minutes of extra time gone. We're tied at 2. The first goal could be very, very, very big. It is not sudden death, remember. They play 15 minutes, then they'll turn it around and play 15 minutes the other way. And then if it's still tied, they'll determine the winner on penalty shot. Yevtushenko is in the middle. Here's the cross, and an easy one for Fast.
Good goalkeeping by the big Belgium. Number 1 made up his mind it was his. Look at the size of these hands. No danger it was going to slip out of it.
And look at the size of his goal kick. Many times in the second half, we saw him kick almost to the 6-yard box of the Soviets, right into the hands of Dafayev. Here's Ceulemans, who had the second goal for Belgium. They're covering, making a run. There's the cross. And almost finding the feet of Claesen. But Belanov got to it first. Yaremchuk to Yevtushenko. Long ball on the left side, looking for Rat, who was unable to get to it. Throw in taken quickly by Jarrett. Scifo brings it into the middle. Scifo unable to get around the Soviet defender. Belenikov. Scifo is down, clasping his right knee. Scifo has played a good game for the Belgians, and Graham, you can go through the entire Belgian team picking out players who have played a superb game.
Especially number 11, Jan Ceulemans, who scored the equalizing goal. He has been a master in midfield, always available, uses the ball so well.
Kaufman tips it forward, looking for Grun, and it was offside. Rat bringing it forward now for the Soviets. Long ball through the middle, looking for Belanov. But that was too far. And that may be another example of how this specially constructed ball by Adidas, built especially for World Cup '86, travels in the altitude. Yevtushenko now for the Soviets. Tried to find Belanov, cut out by Demol. Demol on ball down the left side, looking for Vertaveren. Vertaveren with a shot, and it's high and wide.
And Nico Claesen it was. It's so tough to determine between 16 and 6. But Nico Claesen had a great opportunity there, controlled it well, but just off balance as he tries to get the shot on target. These are the kind of chances you have to put away at this stage of the game. Mistakes are going to be made. If you don't capitalize on them, it could come back and haunt you.
Almost 5.5 minutes gone in the first 15-minute extra time period. Kuznetsov for Damianenko. Lenikov. Kuznetsov. Another long ball looking for Yevtushenko. Yaremchuk is there for the Soviets. Gets it back in to Belanov, and Belanov flicked it on with his head, but it was high.
Well, he's one of the smallest persons on the field and in the World Cup, and yet he springs to that goal beautifully. His timing was a little off there, but he really gets up well for a little guy.
And whenever he makes those runs up the middle, afterwards, he always looks like he's going to die. He's always out of breath, always struggling to get back into the play. And then soon as the ball comes to him the second time, he's darting after it, showing no signs of fatigue. Belenikov, back to Belanov. Kuznetsov. Damianenko. He loves to come forward down the left side when he's given the chance. Ceulemans is there marking Damianenko, their captain. In the middle for Belanov. He turned but couldn't get the shot away. Yaremchuk shoved off the ball, and the Belgian said, "I did it with my shoulder." The referee said, "You know, you did it with your arm," and he awards a free kick. First free kick of the extra time going to the Soviet Union. Kuznetsov plays it wide for Damianenko. Soviet player is pulled from behind. Rat gets the pass in, and Eleniakov wanted one touch too many. He wanted to set up the ball before he got the shot away. Damianenko turns and gives it to Rats on the left side. There's the cross. It's a fine save and punches it away. But the Soviets keep the pressure on. Eleniakov. Belanov. Another chip in there. A chance, and again, Bass makes the save. Bass had lost it. A chance for the Soviets, but they couldn't finish. And now the Belgians come back. This is their captain, Jan Ceulemans. Ceulemans plays it wide to base. Claesen running towards it. And we'll have to wait for some red shirts to come up in support. Belanov to Alenikov. Great action in this extra time. And superb play by Belanov. For Belanov, Belanov tries to find the man on the right side. But the Soviets keep the ball in the Belgian half. Here's the cross. Far post and an easy one for foul. Compared to the last two saves, that was a piece of cake for the Belgian goalkeeper. Therefore, so if I had to pick out a star for the Belgians along with Ceulemans, it would be therefore. And this would be my number one star right here, Ceulemans, who has played a whale of a game for the Belgian side. Free kick to the Belgians. Just under 10 minutes gone now in the first extra time. And the Belgians are about to make their first substitution of the game. Run is out. Leo Kleisters is coming into the game for the Belgians, so the Belgians have some fresh legs in the contest. They will be greatly appreciated, I'm sure, by the Belgians, who have done a tremendous amount of running, as have the Soviets. There must be a tired lot out there now. Belanov for Alenikov. Yevtushenko. Belanov. Rodionov. There's Demyanenko on his left. Belanov. And the Belgians now only have one player up front, and Claesen has just come back. Bow. Into the middle for Yevtushenko. To Yaremchuk. Back to Bow. Cross. And it's headed away by the Belgian defender. Relieves some of the pressure, but only momentarily. Scifo to Ceulemans. Ceulemans. But very little support on that right side. Finally gets it to Claesen. Claesen with the cross. Back into the middle. And Kuznetsov is there for the Soviets.
And the trouble is, when you've got everybody back, if you break quickly, they cannot get up to support in time. And that's what happened there with Kleist and Ceulemans.
And it's a corner kick for the Belgians. Taken quickly by their Vertavern. Plays it to Jarret. Jarret with the cross. Far post. They score! The Belgians have got in front 3-2.
And Demol. And once again we see how suspect the Soviets are at the fast post. All alone, hurls his header into the far corner. They've been punished time after time. Once again, this could be the final blow. Number 21, Demol. Beautiful header, but the Soviets, where oh where were they? Twice the Soviets must have thought they had this game in the bag, and the Soviets now trail 3-2. They led 1-0, 2-1, and the Belgians have taken the lead for the first time in the game. And now the Soviets come forward looking for the equalizer. A throw in to the Soviets. 2.5 minutes remaining to the end of the first half of extra time. Headed away by Scifo, but the Soviets keep the pressure on. This is Bow. And Bow brought down, and a free kick will be awarded to the Soviets. And this is the first time in this tournament the Soviets have been behind. Can they come back?
And we should point out that Belgium have never beaten the Soviets in a World Cup match in 2 previous meetings. There's the cross, headed away by Scifo to Ceulemans. Kuznetsov keeps the pressure on, plays it for Rapp, whacked with the cross. And the Belgian defender is there to relieve some of the pressure, but only momentarily once again as Damianenko gives it to Ratz. Ratz unable to retain possession, but the Soviets do get the throw-in. Minute and a half to go now until the end of the first half of extra time. Rodionov got ahead on that. Hatch will pull it down. And the crowd is now solidly behind the Belgians. Ceulemans with a chance now. Lots of space. Ceulemans. The offside flag has got up as Ceulemans was all alone in the middle and flipped it to Dassayev. But again, another opportunity on the fast break, on the quick counterattack for the Belgians.
And Jan Ceulemans now getting yards and yards of room in midfield. He's cheating a little. He's not coming back. He's just picking the ball up as it comes out of defense.
According to my watch, we're in the final seconds of the opening half of extra time as Damianenko comes forward. Tries to find Ratz at the top of the penalty area. Was it in or was it out? That's what the argument will be about, because if it's in, it's a penalty shot. The referee is not indicating a penalty shot. He is indicating a free kick from just outside the penalty area.
Yes, it was outside the penalty area, just like the one at the finish of regulation time. And the Soviets will have to do better with it than they did with the last one.
Damianenko is there. Rodionov is there. The Soviets are feeling that the wall is too close. The shot is blocked. It was taken by Rodionov, but it was blocked by Claesen. And that is the end of the first extra time period. Belgium leading the Soviets by a score of 3-2. The two teams will now change ends and play another 15 minutes. So this game is far from over. As we've seen, both of these teams are capable of striking very, very quickly. And certainly at this point, I don't think you can count the Soviets out.
No, you can't count out the Soviets, but number 19, Belanov, and Yakovenko, who's gone off, they just seem to be a yard slower now. They've run themselves into the ground. Yaremchuk is the player I was trying to remember. We spoke about the players' concentration going. Obviously, our concentration's gone too, but who could blame us after this kind of game? We've got 15 minutes more to go up the stage. Stay with us.
This has been great stuff. Action from León. We're in extra time. We've got 15 minutes remaining to play now. 15 minutes for the Soviets to tie it up and force the penalty shot to determine the winner, or 15 minutes for Belgium to hang on to this one-goal lead and go through to the quarterfinal. This is Yevtushenko for the Soviets. Plays it wide to Bal. Bal with the cross. Passes well off the line. And struggles to get that ball and then roll it out.
Well, he'd made his mind up he was going to get it, but he was off balance. He was very lucky that the rebound didn't go to a Soviet player.
And now here's a chance for the Belgians. Verkater with the cross. Oh, he found his man, but he headed it over the bar. Great chance for Weiss.
You won't get a better opportunity than that to salt the game away. Just watch the Cutland's cross, face right on it, trying to flick it into the corner, flicks it over the crossbar. That could well have been the end of the game if that goal had gone in.
Kuznetsov for the Soviets to Yevtushenko. Yevtushenko gets it again. Swings it to the right side for Bal. Bal with the crossbar post, and pass is there for the Belgians. And again, that draws a big round of applause and cheers from the fans here in León, who have really adopted this Belgian side after this gutty performance in coming from behind to tie things up, force the extra time, and then take the lead. Scifo tried to find the man in the middle, but it was cleared by the Soviet defender. Now Damianenko, the Soviet captain, losing it to the Belgian player, Claesen. Claesen tries to get by the 21-year-old defender Kuznetsov and unable to do so. What an amazing turn of events. There wouldn't be too many people, I'm sure, in Mexico who would have given you much of a chance for the Belgians in this second round match against the Soviet Union. But here we are in the second period of extra time, and it's Belgium 3, the Soviets 2.
And this game reminds me very much of the 1970 semi-final in Mexico when Italy and Germany went ding-dong at each other before Italy finally won that game by the odd goal.
They're countering to take this corner kick. Oh, and a missed hit by the Soviet defender. And it winds up on the foot of Ceulemans. Ceulemans plays it back into the middle. Kleisters, the substitute. And there's a jumping goal! Belgium have got in front by 2 goals. And a goal by Nico Claesen.
And where is the Soviet defense? You cannot let that go bounce. Claesen says, thank you very much. And in it goes. Just look at them watch the ball. Claesen takes advantage of it into the back of the net with Sakayev nowhere. A dreadful mistake by the Soviets. The ball watching, they do not get to it. Claesen does, and it's 2-goal lead for Belgium. The Belgians have struck for 2 goals in the extra time and now lead by a score of 4-2. And if it stays this way, it will be the Belgians going ahead to the quarterfinals against either Spain or Denmark. And it will, without a doubt, be Belgium's greatest ever result in World Cup. That's a penalty. Definitely a penalty.
The referee, Eric Fredrickson, who has called an outstanding game here in León, awards a penalty shot. And how much more drama can there be left in this game?
There was no doubt about it. Little Belanov was held, and he's going to take the penalty kick himself.
It's Belgium 4, the Soviets 2. We're in extra time as you take a look at the infraction inside the penalty area. And the referee indicates a penalty shot. So now one of the most dramatic moments in soccer. One-on-one. Belanov against the keeper, Jean-Marie Pfaff. Will Pfaff guess right or go left? Belanov with the goal! Belanov, his third of the game. Belanov has the hat trick, and the Soviets trail by 1.
Well, it doesn't matter if Jean-Marie Pfaff had guessed right or not. The power that Belanov put into that, it was by him before he moved. Just watch the little guy power this into the top of the net. Look. And the favorite penalty kick now is right in the middle because you know the goalkeeper's going to move. And Belanov did it so well there.
Tremendous power on the part of Belanov, and it's 4-3. Now, can the Soviets dig deep one more time and come up with the equalizer? There you see the time ticking away. Less than 10 minutes to play in the second extra time. Demol and Claesen giving Belgium a 4-2 lead, and then a penalty shot from Belanov, drawing the Soviets to within 1.
And what a great advertisement for the game, the manner in which these two teams not only approach regulation play, but have gone at this overtime.
And it's a corner kick for the Soviets. And listen to the crowd enjoying every second of this game as we trust you are at home wherever you're watching along the network of the CBC. Swung in a very crowded penalty area. And referee Fredrickson cautions everybody to settle down. It'll be a goal kick to the Belgians. 4-3 is the score. We're into the second extra time. About 8 minutes gone. Back will take his time now as the Belgians try to kill off the seconds. They lead by 1. And Pfaff is getting directions from the referee to take the kick, but the Belgians now have elected to make their second substitution. But the referee will not allow them to do so. He claims they're wasting time, which they probably are.
If you were 1 goal up with a few minutes to go, would you waste time?
If I was 1 goal up against the Soviet side, I'd want to waste time. They're capable of getting that 4th goal. Don't count them out. But the Belgians, full credit for that 4-3 lead. There's a shot from well out that had Gasayev stretching to his left, but it was wide. Obviously trying to catch Gasayev sleeping, but that won't happen too often, I'll tell you that. Kuznetsov for the Soviets. Long ball through the middle, hoping that Belanov can get to it. And you have to wonder, how much does Belanov have left? Indeed, how much do all of these players have left? You have played an absolutely outstanding game. It has been magic from the opening whistle. As Graham pointed out, this will sell soccer quicker than anything else in the world. Games like this. The Soviets coming forward one more time. Yaremchuk at the top of the penalty area. Here's a chance, and he's drawn a foul. Had he drawn a foul, the referee said play on.
And I'm not sure if the players knew if he'd given a foul or if he'd given the advantage goal, because you cannot hear the whistle here. The crowd is so noisy.
And they have every reason to be noisy. This is superb entertainment here in León. Belgium 4, the Soviets 3. We're in the dying minutes now of the second period of extra time. Yaremchuk. Back to the captain, Damianenko. Yaremchuk gets it again. He's brought down by Scifo. It'll be a free kick to the Soviets, and Scifo disagrees with the call. Free kick taken quickly. And rain is starting to fall now in León. Ceulemans is making a run on the left. Here's a chance for the Belgians. Oh, and he tried to get the pass back to Ceulemans, and it was picked out and intercepted neatly by Belanov. And now the Soviets come back. Belanov trying to get to that, and he goes all the way back to the keeper. Back.
And that last Belgium attack was an example of when it pays to be selfish. Had he had a shot there, he had a much better chance than cutting it across the goal.
And this is so typical of the area in León. Around this time each night, the heavens open up and it starts to rain. Yevtushenko for the Soviets, who trail by 1, 4-3. Still in play, Belanov. Tried to find Yaremchuk, who was unable to control it. And the Belgians clear. But now the Soviets come back. Foul. Yaremchuk. And the ball goes into touch. It'll be a throw into the Soviet Union. Claesen, the substitute there for Belgium. Knocking it into touch. Yaremchuk for the Soviets. Kicks it into the middle. Ceulemans, the captain, swings it wide to the right. Finds Scifo. Scifo plays it for Van der Elst. Chance for the Belgians. Van der Elst does well to get around his man. There's the shot. Oh, and it's just wide. A glorious opportunity for the Belgians to go in front by a 2-goal margin.
The fresh legs of Van der Elst took advantage there. He went right through, good control, but the finish just wide of the far post. The advantage of having 2 fresh legs into the game for Belgium.
Leo Van der Elst, number 15, into the game for the Belgians. And that was a chip into the middle, an easy one for Pfaff. It was Pfaff, you'll remember, who kept the Belgians in the game with a couple of remarkable saves early in the extra time. Pfaff with a long kick downfield. Foul is there. Plays it to Kuznetsov. Belanov
And the Soviets still patiently trying to get it forward. But Belgium right on the toes now.
4-3, Belgium lead. Final minutes of the extra time, the second period of extra time. There's a long ball, easy one for France. Rodionov trying to get to that. And the rain that is coming down here in León must be refreshing to these players who have played 90 minutes of regulation time and almost 30 minutes of extra time. Foul for the Soviets. The Soviets must be feeling the fatigue, but they know they have to come forward. They have to keep the pressure on. Belanov with a good run. Belanov with the cross right into the arms of Fat. And you could see the four white shirts of the Soviet Union there ready to take that cross and put it away. And now the Belgians come back. This is Bates. Bates plays it into the middle. There's the shot. And Gabriel makes a great save.
You speak about end-to-end action from pass saving to Gabriel saving and back to come again.
Long ball. Belanov, and Belanov is brought down in the penalty area.
Oh, the referee saying, get up.
At one point, it looked as if referee Eric Fredrickson was pointing to the penalty spot, but he was merely indicating to Belanov to get up. And he's now indicating to the Belgian players that he will add extra time for time wasted. So he's going to add extra time onto the extra time. Great moment this will be for Belgian soccer should they defeat the Soviets and go through to the quarterfinals against either Spain or Denmark. And they are full marks for the effort here this afternoon against a very strong Soviet Union team. This game will surely be judged as the most outstanding so far in World Cup '86. But looking at some of those matchups in the second round, we could see a lot more of this kind of soccer. Free kick to the Belgians, and you can see the referee is adding on the time wasted by the Belgians. Yaremchuk to Yevtushenko, back to Yaremchuk. Can the Soviets pull it out in the final few dying seconds here in León? Yaremchuk with a shot from well out, and it's just wide. He struck it well, but it was just wide of the target. And now we're into extra time that referee Fredrickson has indicated he will add on because the Belgians delay. Long kick downfield, that will kill off some extra seconds. We'll keep a close eye on referee Fredrickson. Could this be the last forward thrust for the Soviets? Belanov. Yevtushenko just puts it in and back. Just flips the ball over the crossbar. Marvelous chance there for Yevtushenko. Now the final whistle has gone. The game is over. What could quite possibly be the biggest victory ever for a soccer team from Belgium. They have defeated the Soviet Union 4-3 in extra time.
A marvelous performance by Belgium. They took everything the Soviets could throw at them, and they still came back to win this by the odd goal.
Just tremendous action here in León. The Soviets went ahead, the Belgians came back to tie it up, and then the Soviets went ahead again. Belgium came back to tie it up at 2, and then they went ahead 3-2 in extra time, 4-2, and then the Soviets came back to make it 4-3. A very entertaining game here in León this afternoon. Belgium defeating the Soviets by a score of 4-3 in extra time. They go through to the second round. CBC's coverage of World Cup '86 continues in just a moment.